It's like about midnight, but you know what? We're not worried. We're just having a good day. Anybody that's up right now, what's up? This is a cool shout out to anybody that's like just hanging out late night, nothing else to do. You're on YouTube, checking out a stream. You're up on Twitch, checking out a stream. You're out on Periscope, checking out a stream. Just the shout outs. It's just cool to be able to have a place to end up hanging out and talking to people. So what up? My name is Seth. My friends call me Silky. This is Sovereign Starseed. This is a channel where we talk about crypto news, esoteric wisdom, and a few other things that just kind of interest me. Pretty much anything that interests me. So thanks for anybody for tuning in. Tonight is something cool that I did on my old channel that I'm going to be doing again, and it's Crypto Newscast, and it's basically just something about like the crypto sphere and how we have so much news that's going on all the time, and we really need to be um, catching up with it, making sure that we have like a good knowledge of what's going on. And what's happening right here is just like on this channel, you're just seeing a tiny, tiny bit of like all the news that's coming out constantly. So I want you guys to know that. So, anyways, I wanted to give out some good news tonight. And I think I'm going to start doing this at least once a week. Just because it's fun and there's so much news that's coming out that like it's good for us to know. Just like what I've been saying. So let's get right into it. So first of all, let's go ahead and talk about herd beats. Herd beats is something that I just found out about recently. And basically what it's doing is it's trying to end up changing the way that live concerts are going to be happening in the future. And what they're doing is they're holding an ICO. It's going to start here in 28, 29, 30, 31, and then 1, 2, 3. In 6 days, it's going to be starting, and they're going to sell 88 million tokens, and it's going to be 45 cents a token. And what these guys are planning on doing is basically they're trying to solve the problem, which is a project that breaks down the barriers of live concert industry. And basically they see the problem. Simply put, there are too many fans that want to see popular concerts and too few seats. To solve this, they will allow viewers to attend a concert using multiple devices, including VR headsets. With the added benefit of a more affordable and convenient experience, die-hard fans will never have to miss a concert. So, what do you think about that? It's pretty interesting, right? Like they're coming out with something pretty interesting. So like, let me just kind of show you what this like already reminds me of. It just reminds me of have any of you guys seen Black Mirror? Black Mirror is this show that talks about technology and about how it's going to be taking us over in the future. And on that show, like it's really cool because each show is episodic, and this is the first one that I watched, and it reminds me of this right here, where basically these guys would go into a room. It's all set up in the future, right? So these guys would go into a room, and in this room there would be a table with 3 judges on it, sitting at the table, and then behind the 3 judges, there would end up being this big digital screen. And this digital screen would have all these people on it. And all these people had their avatars. And I really feel like this is where Herd Beats kind of got a lot of their inspiration for what they're doing right here. Is that if you guys have ever seen Black Mirror and you've seen that episode 15 Million Merits, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Where they're basically going to allow people to wear VR headsets and attend concerts in the future. Now, there's going to be pluses and minuses to everything in life. And so, you know, some good things to think about is like, what do you think would be the pluses to this? What do you think would be the minuses to um, having a VR concert, having VR headsets? To any of you that have ever been to a concert, like, you know, like in the U.S., if you're watching from the U.S., um, think about that. Think about the memories that you've had while you were at the concerts. You know, I can't speak for what the concerts are like in other countries, but, you know, I can imagine that they're somewhat similar, somewhat different, but, you know, anybody can, like, just imagine what the experience is like when you're getting it right there, live in the moment, as opposed to, you know, having to put on a headset and then wearing that headset and then pretty much trying to watch that concert through the headset. I mean, do you think that this would be something that could really take off? I could see I could see musicians performing a concert and then selling it over and over and over to people so that they could end up going to that concert and constantly selling it to other people and being like, yeah, man, you want to come over and check out my Pink Floyd concert? Like, really check it out? Like, you want to really be there for the Grateful Dead? Like, it cost me quite a bit of crypto, but I got Woodstock VR, bro. That would be pretty crazy, right? So it's just something to think about. And so Herd Beats, you know, they're coming out with an ICO November 3rd. If you're into something like this, check it out at herdbeats.com. You know, it's just something that's going to be pretty interesting to see exactly what's going to happen with this. But it sounds like these guys are definitely trying. They're trying, and they got some good marketing behind them. So, just want to talk about that next. Uh, Styrus is something that's going to be really interesting. This is an ICO that's coming up, and the problem that these guys are planning on trying to solve is having mobile data on your phone. So it says that our product arises from the necessity of staying connected anywhere and everywhere we go. Styrus was created to fulfill the never-ending demand for a better and more affordable internet for all. It's a DApp based on Ethereum using smart contracts. Customers maintain internet connections overseas with low costs. Enables users to transfer internet credit to friends and family around the globe. This is cool, guys. Internet credit. You get a wallet and an app. It detects your location and sends a message to us indicating your location. According to this information, the system will locate the closest hotspot and allow you to log in and begin surfing the net. You can get a 3G router, which has an integrated SIM card, and it'll receive direct internet signal from their providers. This way, we're able to distribute the signal to devices like notebooks, tablets, and gaming consoles. That's going to be crazy, guys. Like mobile gaming consoles that are going to use the Styrus router. So if you end up getting in on the ICO, there's going to be a 33% bonus. So if you buy $100 worth, you're going to get $133 worth of Styrus coin. They're going to start selling this stuff on November 21st, and it's going to be only going for about a week. Trying to collect it all real fast. Trying to see also if they have like any type of minimums. So one ether is going to give you 3,000 Styrus. And that is Styrus coin, guys. So it's going to be pretty interesting. It's going to be allowing people to end up getting mobile internet, which I am a fan of and I like, especially because my internet right here does not work that well. Like out in Golden, Colorado. It's probably a good stream here tonight. If anybody's having problems, just go ahead and either disconnect or connect in on a different channel and we got you. But yeah, so then here's the next thing I wanted to talk about that's gets kind of interesting here is that the Michigan man was charged for unlawful Bitcoin exchange. Okay. A Michigan man has been charged with running an unlicensed money transmitting business after selling nearly $150,000 in Bitcoin online. So they went after 52-year-old Bradley Anthony Stetq. I'm sorry if I'm butchering that, bro. Ran an exchange through the local Bitcoins website, conducting transactions at restaurants in Bloomfield. He's alleged to have sold Bitcoin as part of a business venture for approximately 2 years at a volume that would make him subject to federal anti-money laundering regulations. So, here's the thing. On the total, the documents filed with the District Court of Michigan said that he sold more than 56,000 worth of Bitcoin to federal agents through 6 meetings. Operating under the username Salt and Pepper, this guy had bought and sold and brokered deals for hundreds of thousands of dollars in Bitcoins while failing to comply with the money transmitting business regulation requirements set forth in Title 31 U.S. Code Section 5330. Okay, let's talk about this. This is good. Okay, so like here's what's interesting is that they're trying to tell this guy that this guy has money laundering allegations against him because he sold quite a bit of Bitcoin to the government, to the FBI, to the feds. And the feds are trying to get him for operating an unlawful Bitcoin exchange. So, first of all, just go ahead and talk to me about what exactly is a lawful Bitcoin exchange, please. Because right now it's really hard for me to understand that. It's really hard for me to comprehend that. Because I don't really see there being any laws around Bitcoin exchanges making them lawful or not. And if this man is getting like held up because he sold through localbitcoins.com, then how come like not every single person is going through that? And like when do they call this like a money transmitting tool? I thought Bitcoin was just like some terrorist money that they didn't want people to use. In fact, I thought Jamie Dimon just last month was talking about how it's a fraud. So if it's a fraud, then like how come these guys are going after them and like like feds are buying it from him, trying to catch him with federal anti-money laundering regulations? Like, wow, man. I didn't know that Bitcoin was into that type of stuff. I didn't even know that it was breaking any money laundering regulations. Can you show me these regulations that speak towards cryptocurrencies? I understand where they speak towards fiat, but cryptocurrencies is different. And I don't see anything in there about that. So, this is just something that's pretty interesting. My stance on this is that it's not very lawful for them to be going after somebody that is basically selling something that other people want, and there is no laws around it. So it's not unlawful. It's not lawful either. It's just sovereign. It's just its own law. It's just operating on its own. And this man, this 52-year-old man, is now having to face these huge charges just because he wanted to help other people get Bitcoin. It's just hard for me to see this. It's hard for me to see this as being something that I can completely agree with. And like I feel that like what's beautiful about this planet and about living here at this time is that we can agree with the things that we can agree with. And when we find it hard to agree with it, we don't have to like just go with it. Because it's hard for me to just go with this. Because like how come not everybody's like getting messed up with local Bitcoins? Are they about to go through everybody that has an account there? Just some interesting things to think about. Next, I just wanted to talk about how Warren Buffett, he's weighing in right now on some Bitcoins and cryptocurrencies. So this is pretty interesting because remember how I say everything in life is a double-edged sword, guys. So Warren Buffett, he's claiming that right now cryptocurrencies are in a bubble. So this is something where, like Jamie Dimon, his message is that it's like something that's kind of negative. And he's trying to say that Bitcoin is overpriced right now, and that is definitely going to go back down in price when people start to get smart and realize. It's not, I'm paraphrasing heavily, but I'm just saying that's the gist of most of these messages that come out from these financial gurus. JP Morgan, Berkshire Hathaway for Warren Buffett, BlackRock Financial is about to do something, Bank of America is going to say something, MasterCard CEO said he doesn't like blockchains unless they're backed by the government. Okay. So Warren Buffett's now talking about how people get excited from big price movements. That's the truth. And Wall Street accommodates. You can't value Bitcoin because it's not a value producing asset. So, I mean, here's what I'll say is that Warren Buffett, if you want to talk about Bitcoins and talk about cryptocurrencies and talk about how it is a value producing asset in and of itself, I can help you. Because it's all dependent on how we look at these things. And right now, I can say this is that it's Sunday, Sunday right after midnight. But right now I cannot send money to people freely from my bank account. And that's because I have to wait till other bankers get into the office on Monday at 9 a.m. And then when they fire their computer up, then they'll be able to tell me, all right, Seth, it's okay for you to send your money to somebody else. I give you permission now that I'm back in the office. Come on, man. I'm not a slave. So Bitcoin's right there in and of itself is a value, bro. Because I can send anybody Bitcoins right now, and it'll get to them in about 20 minutes. Well, maybe not, because depending on the network, but at least they'll see it on the blockchain going through, and we can be confident in business and continue to move on and go and do other business if we need to. And we can do this without waiting for somebody to give us permission. So that in and of itself makes it a value producing asset. So I just want you to know that here on this channel, I politely challenge Warren Buffett's just stance on this, because I want you to also know that another area where this is completely producing value is the fact that there are some things right now that are going on in at least the United States with the presidency that's making other countries wary of doing business with the United States. If you go to most of the ICOs that are being talked about right now, and some of the big ones, they are not, you cannot participate if you're in the United States. And I think that, with what our presidency has been doing in other aspects of economics, politics, anything else, it would make me weary if I was a foreign country myself. And so what I'm trying to say right here is that cryptocurrencies are already being banned in the US from the rest of the world just because of some of the things that they don't like that they have to deal with. It's not just the president, it's also like the SEC. It's also the know your customer laws. It's all the freaking anti-terrorism laws to stop all this terrorism. But it's not stopped. It's not stopped. It's gonna always happen. And like one of the best things about Bitcoin, going way back from everything I was just talking about, is that my government doesn't have to be okay with somebody else's government in order for me to send money to that country, in order for me to send money to those people. So I don't have to wait for my dollars to turn into tax dollars in order for somebody like, our president of the United States to send that money over to like Puerto Rico right now. I can send it right now. I don't have to wait. And that's because I know they need it right now. You guys, if anybody's watching from that country, I know you need it right now. If you got a wallet address, shoot me a message. I'll shoot you some coin. That right there, Sir Warren Buffett, I want you to know that right there is in and of itself a value producing asset to this man right here. So I want you to see that I am not the only one that sees it this way. There are other people out there that may see it the same way. So it is possible that it's in a bubble, But the only reason why it would be in a bubble right now is because powerful people like Jamie Dimon and Warren Buffett keep speaking trash about it. And that's going to lower the confidence in it and lower the bubble for it. And people are going to sell it. And it's going to lower the price. So, of course, yes, I see it. I'm not surprised that you're going to say that it's in a bubble. And then watch Bitcoin go down a little bit tomorrow because a lot of people believe Warren Buffett and what he's talking about blindly. Not so many, though, because they saw what just happened last month with Jamie Dimon, and they're like, holy crap, these people on the internet that are talking about these internet coins, these geek coins, maybe they're onto something. Because now Bitcoin is back above 5 grand without Jamie Dimon's help and without China's help. So that's crazy. That's what's telling you guys that like you can be one of the most powerful people in a country, and you can not participate in Bitcoin publicly. Privately, you're buying it though. We know that. And publicly, you're not buying it, and you're talking trash about it, and you're not participating, and it's going to surpass you. It's going to go past you. You can also be a whole country. You can be a huge country. You could be a staple country for the rest of the world. And when you don't participate in it, it's going to surpass you. It's going to go right past you. So what I'm trying to say is that this cryptocurrency, this Bitcoin thing that started, okay, we've created a monster almost. We've created something that cannot be stopped. So think about it, because everything is a double-edged sword. What are the benefits to what we've started here? I've talked about some of them. What are the detriments to what we've started here? I've talked about those in my previous channel, but like think about that here as well. What could be the detriments? What could be the detriments? Like if AI gets out, if quantum computing affects Bitcoin. These are all real concerns to have, but since you can't control it, it's just something to think about. And that's the way that I'm starting to approach some of this stuff. But it's good to be aware, it's good to be educated, and it's good to see what Warren Buffett's going to do to the price of Bitcoin. Real fast, I'm going to go over to CoinMarketCap and I'm just going to see what happened. See if there was a downtrend. Okay, so Bitcoin is now at 57.81 at the time of this video. Warren Buffett just said this stuff today. It's probably going to take like a day or two to reach everybody's newspapers tomorrow. And then there might end up being another small spike where it goes down and it needs to recover again from what Warren Buffett said. But if there isn't, then that means that like even Warren Buffett trying to say that it's in a bubble, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. Warren Buffett, I'll say, is smart too, though, and he's not trying to lash out as hard as Jamie Dimon and just saying that it's in a bubble, because that is something that's plausible, and I can agree with it. It's possible that it is in a bubble if a lot of people give up their coin right now and they listen to other people blindly and they don't look into what it's doing to other countries that have never had access to things like this before. Anyways, next favorite part of this episode tonight is that Catalan Parliament is declaring its independence. So this is pretty interesting, because after they declared their independence, now the volatility of foreign exchange in their country is now becoming something that's kind of risky, kind of interesting. And like that's something that you can always expect whenever a country declares its sovereignty. But it's something that's beautiful to think about, because Catalan has been trying, in my opinion, they've been almost trying to do something like this for a while. And so let me also make sure that this is up here. But they've been also like trying to make sure that something like this has been happening for a little while. And like, I just want to go over some of this. So it's finally happened. See, Spanish province Catalonia has officially declared independence from Spain. This is so beautiful, guys. So beautiful to me. So I just wanted you guys to see this, that like, just taking a look at this, that I just want to sit back and think about it for a moment. I also need to end up checking on the chat, just making sure that it's good. If anybody's in the chat and it's not work, or if anybody's in the chat, shoot out a message so I know it's working. If not, I'm just gonna go ahead and repop it out. I'm just gonna repop it out. We're gonna do this though. Compact. All right. Repop out the chat. Cool. There it is. But yeah, so like this is something that's so interesting because as the markets are digesting the news, the euro has hit a fresh session low across the board. Central government in Madrid, Spain is mulling how it will respond to the announcement. This is huge, guys. This is huge. Like this is going to be affecting us. I just like want to explain the magnitude of what this means because this is going to be affecting even us in the US, all over the world. Because when a country declares itself independent, big things happen. Big things happen. So, you know, this is something where we're going to end up seeing some economic reset, some economic rebuilding over in Catalonia, but it's just going to be beautiful. In contrast to the president of Catalonia, the parliament of the region has chosen to taunt the federal government into some form of action. Sometimes they have to do that in order to make sure that they get a response, some form of action. And that's exactly what's happening here. You know, Catalonia is going to have a hard time trying to become and sustain itself as its own country and establish trade with the countries around it, especially Spain, unless it does a lot of diplomacy. So, just trying to speak about this as quick as possible, guys. What I could say is that, like, this could be a move from Catalonia just in the form to try to get Spain to do something that Catalonia has been wanting for a while. Everything that it's been wanting. And Catalonia may not really want the sovereignty at this point, just because it's such a monumental responsibility to take on right then and there that you got to really be ready for it. So you got to have like a huge booming economy, booming country, China, something like that. Like huge. It's got to be coming up. So, what's interesting is that, the response of the prime minister didn't take long as he condemned the Catalan parliament's action and declared it a criminal act. So this is what's interesting, is that they said that it's a criminal act to declare yourselves free from us. Public unrest is a risk, and in modern high-frequency markets, such events pose big risks. A flashback to the flash crash in 2010 in May was tied to the street protests in Greece at the time. And I don't know if you guys remember that, but it was beautiful because Greece was talking about how they wanted to demand basically solvency. They wanted to demand that their government give them their forgiveness on their debts. And they went to the streets, protested hard, and then the government backed up and said, you know what? We'll forgive it. And it's beautiful. And so I think that Catalonia may be doing the same thing. And on a channel like Sovereign Starseed, whenever we see an article like this popping up or a country doing something like this, it is big news here. I love seeing this just because I eventually want to see like all countries declaring sovereignty and being able to do what they want. And the provinces within the countries, because actually a country probably pretty much is sovereign. And like the way that a new country is formed is that a tiny little state or a tiny little town decides that they're going to create their own way of doing things. And I think that's beautiful. So I just wanted you guys to see that, because this is something that was on Wikipedia. The Declaration of the Sovereignty and Right to Decide of the People of Catalonia was issued on January 23rd, 2013. The declaration asserted that Catalonia is a sovereign entity and agrees to initiate the process to exercise the right to decide, so that the citizens of Catalonia may decide their collective political future in accordance with the following principles: sovereignty, democratic legitimacy, it's beautiful, guys, transparency, dialogue, that's beautiful, that's beautiful, dialogue. We are missing so much of that in so many places on the planet right now. We need dialogue, social cohesion, Europeanism, legality, role of the Catalan Parliament, and participation. And the declaration was passed with 85 votes in favor, 41 against, and 2 absent. So this is beautiful, because in 2013 they wrote this. They voted that this was going to be good, that they can write this. And here in 2017, they had just now declared it. Now, the government has already fought back and called it a criminal act. And in my opinion, every government's going to, because that government had control over this country that's now going to become its own country, guys. And that's beautiful. Look at these principles that these things are coming on. Transparency and dialogue are my favorites right there. This means that you're going to see healthy discussion happen when laws are being made. Here we have that, but there are so many holes, and it's so fake behind some of the doors, closed doors, that we need the transparency to back it. So this is beautiful. And I just wanted to take a moment to talk about that. And, show that in stark contrast to what's happening here. Algeria, on the other hand, decides that it wants to go ahead and close its mind completely. And so basically, the government of Algeria appears to be moving towards a total ban of Bitcoin and other digital currencies in the country. This could be FUD, guys. Just like how I've reported on my previous channel the FUD about Russia. But you know what? It's okay, because I expect there to be some propaganda floating around at some point. And I can only work with what I'm given. And so, yeah, this is a total ban of Bitcoin and other digital currencies. The government is reportedly considering the prohibition of the use as well as possession of the virtual currencies, and not just a ban on their acceptance as a form of payment. Part of the bill reads, any violation of this provision is punished in accordance with the laws and regulations in force. So meaning that these guys are going to be put into jail and punished hard for just holding these beautiful currencies. Now, why would a government want to do that unless it's trying to control your mind and trying to get you to use its currencies? So I've talked about it in the previous channel, I'll talk about it on this one. I expect this to happen, and I expect other immature countries that have governments that cannot see what's going on with these things, they're going to ban it as well. Just because they need to mature their perspectives. And they can mature their perspectives. Watch a video, watch some of these streams, watch what's going on. And you'll be able to see it, that you cannot ban this digital currency. Okay, so what's Algeria going to do? They're going to end up banning cryptocurrencies, and all the other current countries around them are going to be like, okay, we're into it. And then all of a sudden Algeria is going to be like, shit, who do we trade with? They're not going to have anybody to trade with, because everybody around them is now accepting cryptocurrencies. And they told their people, nope, can't do that. So now when their people want to use some of these amazing things that we get to use already because of cryptocurrencies, well, then it's going to make some of those people leave that country. and that's going to make that country even poorer. So it's just a domino effect, guys. Everything ties into everything else. And I just wanted to talk about that a little bit on this channel, just so that you guys can see the contrast in what countries are doing. And you can see here now that, like, you know, Algeria is a country that is going to close its mind off to these cryptocurrencies. Oh. You know, meanwhile, there's other places that are completely opening their mind up to it. So think about that. Think about how it's going to affect you. Think about how you're not going to be able to participate in certain things in the future, whether you want to or not, just because you may be on risk of being arrested or punished, put into jail, some other things, just because you have this stuff. Just because you have this alternate geek money. That's all it is. It's geek money, man. And anybody's going to hate on that, especially when it gets to be too popular. So I just wanted to show you guys that. Just wanted to see, let you guys see that, like, you know, that's kind of like something that I see all the time, is that these things, people trying to take stabs at Bitcoin, saying that nope, 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 don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. And had you invested a few years ago, even investing now, you'll be able to have a leg up in the future. And that's another reason why I think some of these people are saying that Bitcoin is not worth it. Because you got to be really closed-minded, really closed eyes to not see how it is an amazing thing. So with that, I just wanted to go ahead and say thank you guys. Thank you to anybody that was watching. You know, I hope that you guys enjoy the streams. If you do enjoy the streams, let's get you to like this channel. Let's get you to subscribe. Let's get you to comment. Send me a message. Let's start conversations about these things. I know I'm not the only one that feels this way. And, you know, share this with other people. If you feel that, you know, there are things that have been explained here that you don't want to explain in person, I get it. Let me just ramble in one of these videos to your friends. You know what I mean? And then, you know, let's start some dialogue. I got a Discord chat room going on in the description of this video. You can join. You can join on some of the other things that I've been involved in if you want. But the Discord room will be fun because then we could chat there all the time, and I'm learning that so much. I've learned so much about Discord, and that thing is powerful. You can, like, do push-to-talk chat. That's really cool. So, anyways, guys, you know, that's what I'm just trying to say. Like, comment, subscribe, share it. You know, make sure this stuff gets out there. And thank you for watching this. And, you know, if you got any questions, anything you want to see me end up talking about or going over, shoot me a message, direct message me. I'd be happy to end up, you know, at least talking to you about it and seeing if I can go over it or not. So, with that, you know, I'm going to end up taking off here. It's been a great episode. This has been Silky Smooth with the Sovereign Starseed. I'll see you guys in the next